Okay, so Terminator Salvation. So now, this is set during the war. There's no more Terminators going back in time, nothing. When I heard the concept of this, I thought, okay, so we're finally going to see, because like the only way it can go now is that we see what happens beforehand, and it ends with them sending Kyle Reese back to do what he does in the first one. It ends with that. No, because clearly they were setting up for a trilogy, which goes back to what I said about the first one. They made it to simply be its own film. They weren't trying to make sequels or nothing. James Cameron had that mindset. We're doing this just to make a film, not start a franchise. And the second film was to make a sequel, and it ended on a definitive end. That they stopped different day. And then we got the third one, which James Cameron didn't want to come back for. That's fine. Like I said, I don't mind the third one. So, now we have this one, the fourth one, Salvation. And Christian Bale has replaced Nick Stahl as John Connor. And, well, he's alright. He's decent. One thing I didn't like, though, I understand that this is starting a trilogy, but it never went anywhere. But very definitively, at the end of the third film, he declares himself. He said, "Who's in charge?" He said, "I am." At the beginning of this, he's not in charge. Someone else is. And then he takes charge after that. After this person dies. I mean, it's what's his name? He's been in a lot of shit. Michael Ironside, for God's sake. But still, John Connor's supposed to be in charge. We told this John Connor's supposed to be in charge. He's got his wife, Kate, who's now played by Bryce Dallas Howard. And she does okay. We got Sam Worthington's character, which is really the point of view character of this movie. And that's, I think, one of the problems is that this whole franchise has been from the point of a member of the Connor family, Sarah or John. We introduced it to Sam Worthington's character, Marcus. And you see this flashback of him and his doctor. Helena Bonham Carter. How the hell did Helena Bonham Carter become a thing? At one point, she was in everything, especially it was directed by Tim Burton. Tim Burton? Is that the name? And I'm sorry, I've never been attracted to her or ever thought she was, really anything. She looks dead already. She always looks like she's already dead. I'm sorry. I know she's supposed to be dying from cancer in here, but every movie I've seen and she looks absolutely horrible. Big Fish, other stuff. Even as the Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland, she looks terrible. Hello, Alice. But I've never saw what people see about Helena Bonham Carter being such a great actress. She's not very good in this. They use her here in the beginning, and they use her sometime towards the end of the movie as some kind of CGI thing. But and you get a CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator thing, which is cool. You got to fit him in there somewhere. And I'm thinking, okay, so that's the one that gets sent back. But wait a minute. No, because they have set this up as a trilogy. And they have Kyle Reese purposely too young to be the one that gets sent back. Now, think about this. They went from this to Genesis. And Genesis gave us what we wanted to see. What happens before the first film. So if we got a second film that ended just before, with their victory, just before they went into to finish the victory, and you get this scroll like, oh, was in hand. We had the victory. Everything was going according to plan until it happened, and then it leads off for the next film, and then we get Genesis, and then you get this twisted kind of thing that maybe this is a new timeline, because if you went by the first film, maybe even the second film, and ended there, there'd be no more timeline fluctuations. But because you did that with 3, now you got more fluctuations, because now Marcus sold his body to science or something, and now he's part human, part Terminator, or he's just his skin on a Terminator. I don't know, but he has his memories, I guess. And in the end, he gives his heart to John Connor because John Connor's going to die. Yeah, the original ending had them actually putting John's skin over the top of the Marcus Terminator, and Marcus retained to be John Connor. Yeah, that would piss people off. People hold John Connor as sacred in this, and I'm sorry, but Terminator Dark Fate has taught me anything, is that we don't need John Connor anymore. In this part, yes. But they were setting up for everything to go that it was supposed to be. Like, I think, like, if this trilogy had succeeded, the last part of the trilogy would be a montage of them sending the first Terminator being sent back and Kyle Reese being sent back. And then they send the T-100 from T2. And then John Connor dies, and they send the reprogrammed Terminator back in time to do that. And that's all they need to do. But then you create this new Terminator that's part human, part machine. And that complicates the timeline, because you still got to send everyone back to do what they're supposed to. But if there's a new Terminator, then how does the T-1000 and the TX get created after this human-machine hybrid? You see what I'm saying? It makes no sense. I know they want to one-up the T-1000 each time, but in trying to one-up, it kind of makes the mistake of why didn't you just send that one back the first time. Like, if you had a T-1000, why didn't you send it back in the first Terminator movie? If you had a TX, why didn't you send that back in the first Terminator movie? If you had a better Terminator, why didn't you send that back first? Why send these other ones first? Because we kind of got the hint from the first one that we won. The humans won, beat Cybernet, and as a last-ditch effort, they sent the Terminator. So how can they send more? That's what's always confused me, is that Skynet keeps sending more. How can they do that if they're defeated? It's just confusing. You know what I mean? Although we do get kind of answer in Dark Fate that they could send them to different points in time. So if you go by that, they could send three different Terminators, 3 different versions of Terminators, each of them, we'll send this crappy version in 1984, we'll send this version in 1991, it's a little bit better, well then we'll send this one, who's better than that one, to 2003. Still kind of doesn't make any sense, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? And yeah, just this whole, I'm not a war movie type person, and that's what this movie is. It's war. They're fighting the machines. It's a war type thing. I'm not really big on that. That's why this one's never really caught my eye when it comes to Terminator films. Because to me, Terminator films are Terminator gets sent back in time, someone else or another Terminator gets sent back, and they gotta stop. I like that formula. That's a Terminator movie for me. This, it's just, you want to do something different. Fine. Do something different. But I just don't know. I don't know. So, because I'm kind of short on time, go ahead and give my score. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's decent. Not too bad. I thought it was okay. So, yeah, 7 out of 10. What are your thoughts on Terminator Salvation? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.